Hello. So your exam is coming up, and I thought that I would give you some last minute suggestions for doing better in your test. You have spent quite a time with me, and I hope that during these days you have learned something from me, and I was able to teach you some valuable tips and tricks and skills which will help you to get the score you desire. The main purpose of this video is to make sure that you remember the most important tips and tricks I told you during these days, so that in your exam it will help you to enhance your score. So let's just start with the first tip, and that is for speaking. So you already know that in speaking we get 5 different types of questions. The first important thing to remember in speaking is fluency and pronunciation are more important than the content. Or in other words, how you speak is more important than what you say. So always make sure that for no good reason you stammer or hesitate or say things. So make sure that you never hesitate no matter what is the reason. This is very important to maintain your fluency in pronunciation score. And now I will go through all questions one by one and will give you some important tips. For read aloud, if you come across a word that you know you can't pronounce, you have only 2 options. Either you need to guess the pronunciation of the word or you skip the word. Whichever you find comfortable, go for that. For repeat sentence, try your best to complete the sentence, even if that means using your own words. Focus on the meaning and try your best to speak fluently and clearly. Describe image. Try to get the keywords from the image, include them in your answer, and again you speak smoothly as you can. Retail lecture, try to grab as many keywords from the recording as possible, then use the template to present those keywords in a meaningful manner. And if you get stuck at any place, do not hesitate to use the emergency lines. Short answer questions are the least important questions in your test. If possible, try to answer the question, otherwise do not worry too much about them. If you make a mistake in short answer question, you can correct them as long as you have time. Another thing is in short answer question, you can change your answer if you are not happy with the answer you gave. In reading, you get multiple choice questions and 3 other types of questions. Multiple choice questions are not important. Do not waste your time on them. Try your best to finish them within 2 minutes and if possible in less than 2 minutes. Your paragraphs are important but sometimes can be confusing as well. So focus on making the pairs if you think that you can't put everything in order. For fill in the blanks questions, parts of a speech are really helpful. So when you are looking at the gap, try to think of what could be the parts of a speech of the missing word. Then look at the options and identify the word in the correct parts of the speech. And then put them in the gap and read the sentence to see if it is making sense or not. If you think the sentence is not making sense, then choose another word which is in correct grammatical form. Fill in the blanks reading and writing can be difficult for students, especially because this involves a lot of complex vocabularies. If that is the case, at least try to see what is the context. And if it's a positive context, try to get the positive words. If it's a negative context, then try to get the negative words. Some other tricks that you can apply are, if you think there are words with similar spelling or similar pronunciation or similar meaning, then focus on those words and forget about the rest. One of these words would be the answer. Otherwise, if you do not know the answer, then guess, because there is no negative marking here. In reading, there is only one question where you have negative marking, that is multiple choice question, multiple right answer. Do not guess this in this question if you have already selected one answer. If you have not selected any answer, then just guess one answer. So these are the tips and tricks for reading. Now let's go to another section, that is writing. You already know that you get 2 different types of questions in writing. One is summarized written text and another is essay questions. In summarized written text, remember you cannot write more than 1 sentence, although your answer can be 5 to 75 words long. And while writing the summary, count the number of paragraphs because the number of paragraphs correlates with the number of important ideas. Basically, you need to get one important idea from one paragraph, combine those ideas together, and present your answer using the template or without using the template, depending on what you find more convenient. In essay writing, there are 3 steps to go through. First, write the template as quickly as you can. After that, look at the question and with the help of the information from the question, try to fill the gaps in the template. And once you are finished doing that, check your work for the mistakes. That means edit or proofread your work. It is always important in writing to finish your work a little earlier so that you have enough time to edit your work. So make sure that you can finish your work at least 2-3 minutes earlier in summarized written text and at least 5 minutes earlier in essay writing. After that, let's go to listening. In listening, there are 8 different questions. Out of them, 4 questions are important and 4 questions are not. Summarize the spoken text, fill in the blanks, highlight incorrect words and dictation are important questions, and the rest of the questions are not important. Summarize the spoken text, use the keyword technique, try to grab as many keywords as you can from the recording, and then organize those keywords in a meaningful way, and then use the template to prepare your answer. Then check your spelling and make sure that all the sentences have been correctly written. For fill in the blanks questions, remember they might try to trick you by giving you the homophones or most commonly misspelled words. So always make a habit of checking the spelling of the words you have written, and always make sure that the word you have selected makes sense as well. If you have missed any question, don't worry, make a guess. There is no negative marking here. Highlight incorrect words is another important question. In this question, it's very important for you to move the mouse cursor along with the speaker. If you have by mistake selected a wrong word, click it again and then it will be unselected. Do not guess any answer here because there is negative marking. And more importantly, once the recording is over, do not start thinking about your answer. Go to the next question immediately, because I'm sure you do not want to miss dictation question. Dictation is the most important question in listening and perhaps in the entire test. So make sure that you can attempt all the dictation questions. Some important things in dictation are your sentence should always start with a capital letter. There must be a full stop at the end. There must be appropriate punctuation marks used. The grammar and spelling of the words you have written should be correct to get full points. After writing the sentence in dictation, read the sentence one more time to see if you think any word is missing. If you think any word is missing from the sentence, then write those words from your own side, and don't worry about writing more words than required or more words than in the original sentence, because there is no negative marking for that. In listening, there are only two questions where you have negative scoring, and they are highlight incorrect words and multiple choice question, multiple right answer. Now, it's very important that you spend some time thinking about what you are going to do in the test. Revise all the questions you have practiced so far. On the day before the test, do not attempt any new questions, but only revise the questions you have done so far. Take a good rest before the exam so that you feel fresh the next day. If you are doing any kind of night shift or if you have any job, at least the day before the exam, take a break or day off and then relax before you go to the test so that your brain can function properly and you can do everything in the best possible way. On the day of the exam, you do not need to take anything to the test center. You only need your passport. In fact, if you take other things, they will ask you to put it outside in the locker, and make sure that you can reach the exam center at least 30 minutes earlier than the exam starts. That's the official rule there. They will not allow you to enter if you reach there later than that. In fact, what I say is try to reach there at least 1 hour early so that you don't feel nervous by reaching there late. So these are some of the important things to keep in mind in addition to the things you have already learned. Remember, you are now completely prepared to take this test. Perhaps you'll get 90 out of 90. I have done everything I could to tell you what are the important things you need to learn for the test. Now it's your turn to apply them, and definitely you can apply them without a problem. Trust in yourself, trust in your abilities, trust in what I told you in the class, and definitely you'll get your score. All the best. I'll see you soon with your score.